when you're ready to go.
So Vic and Carl, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down and meet with me. When we spoke on the phone, you said you were interested in talking about saving for education for your kids as well as retirement. Is that still the case? Has anything changed?
That's still the case.
No? All right, excellent. Well, I'll be sure to touch on that when I go through everything. So naturally, I'm sure you want to know more about me and the company that I represent before doing anything too personal. So I work for Prudential, as you know, where we've been around for 140 years. I've been going strong ever since, including the 2008 financial crisis where we made it through. No government backing, no government loans or anything like that. And we came out the other side, and not many companies in our industry are able to say that and be able to move forward. So with that being said as well, many people think of us as just an insurance company, but we do so much more than that, including investments, which has become a hot topic for many people, especially after the financial crisis. And we've been able to position ourselves as a top 10 global asset manager in the world with $1.3 billion under asset. Trillion. So we're right up there with the Goldman Sachs, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, company that people genuinely think of when it first comes to thinking about investments. So just a little something we like to share with people. And now I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how we work with our clients and kind of the process we use to be able to understand your financial situation and help out to achieve your goals. So the first thing we do is we want to establish your financial goals, where you want to be in the end. And to do that, we need to understand where you are currently. So we have to find out where you are in relativity to your goals to make sure we can help the process along and make sure you get to where you want to be as efficiently as possible. And to do that, you have the benefit of knowledgeable analysis from my team. We have people here that have been here 40 plus years, and in combined you have people that have thousands of years of experience here at Prudential. So it's not just me working on your situation, you have the help of everybody within the company. And once we talk today, once we find out your situation, once we find out your goals and where you want to get to, we will develop a plan and a couple strategies to help you along the process and to make sure you get to where you want to be. And we would come back after a couple weeks, we'd set a second meeting. We would go over each individual plan and strategy. Should you decide to implement it, fantastic. We get it going straight away, and we get the process going with you. If you didn't like maybe a little bit about the plan, we could switch it up. We can fix it. We can do a number of things to make sure that it's the way that you want it to be, but as well as a way that works the best for you as well. Or maybe this simply isn't the time for you, and that's perfectly fine. The plan is always there on the table for you should you ever decide that you have a need to come back to it. And should you go through with it, we could review your progress with you, whether it's over the phone, whether it's in person, and this could be as often as quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, as most people tend to go. Do you have any questions on that?
Sounds great.
All right. So I'm going to talk to you about kind of the 4 cornerstones that we talk about. So this is considered the 4 cornerstones, and we usually talk about the financial house. So you need all 4 of these cornerstones to be standing strong, like the structure of a house. If one thing is a little weak or collapses, the whole plan might fall apart. So we want to get an indication of how all 4 of your, cornerstones are working to make sure that we can develop the plan, we know your situation, and can give you the proper guidance. So we have cash management, liabilities, protection, investments, and estate planning. Cash management liabilities is something as simple as what comes in and out of the household each month. It's a very fundamental level in terms of some people have trouble budgeting their plans. Not sure if that applies to you, but you know, it's even something simple as that, where if they don't have the proper budget, they don't have as much money as they thought they needed for a plan, where the whole plan can fall apart. We need to make sure we establish that immediately. Protection, we have life insurance, long-term care, disability insurance, anything to make sure where if something were to happen to you in any unfortunate circumstance, that your family is still well protected and everything is still moving the way that you want it to. Investments, another hot topic again, especially with people my age, which, you know, the stock market's exciting, but we've had a lucky good run for 10 years, so we want to make sure mutual funds, 401ks, things like that are able to keep making money and they're working the way that you want it to. And taxes and estate planning, which we are not tax professionals and we're not estate professionals, but we work with CPAs and lawyers to make sure that we have everything in order to make sure we're all on the same wavelength. And do you have any questions on that?
No. That sounds good.
No? All right. Well, so now, this is what we got. This is kind of the next step of what we do. We have 7 steps, 7 different areas that we want to make sure. This is how we get to know your situation, to kind of develop our plans, as well as just give you a baseline on where you are. And this has 7 steps. A lot of these are in the cornerstones I just talked about, but we're going to talk about these more in depth, like retirement. You know, a lot of people don't start saving maybe when they need to. Maybe they think they have enough money for retirement, and it turns out, you know, they run out of money by the time they're 80. And we want to make sure that you have the money that you have, it's guaranteed for the retirement, and it lasts your, you know, the entirety of your life. So that includes IRA, Roth IRAs, things like that, which we'll ask about here in a little bit. Education, which is another one that you talked about, whether it's the 529 savings plan so your kids can go to college. The costs of college are ever rising, especially with inflation, and they're not going to get cheaper anytime soon. So we want to make sure that you put money away early and your kids can go to college and hopefully have most of it paid off, depending on where they go. Savings, you know, just what's in your savings account for, say, you know, something unfortunate happened at work, say you got laid off, something like that. We just want to make sure that you're able to have that income while you get another job, or something breaks in the house, anything as simple as that. Protection, talked about again, the insurance. Long-term care, which has been a hot topic now that it's built into life insurance as well. We have disability insurance, and just make sure that you're covered should anything happen. Estate planning, which I also talk about with taxes. We would like to partner up with your lawyer or your CPA, because too often they might make a recommendation that might save you money on taxes, but it could hurt something within the financial plan that we have. So we want to make sure that we're on the same page, so any recommendations they give or any recommendations we give, it'll be in line with each other and the plan won't fall apart. And cash flow I talked about as well before with the budgeting, something, you know, seems very simple, but something that could derail an entire financial plan if not managed properly. So, any questions on anything? No? All right, well, then I'm gonna start getting some information from you guys, if that's okay, and kind of figure out where you are.
What do you need the information for?
To develop what the plan. Yeah, the